Hi, good morning, tulips. Okay, are you guys ready to sing hello? Ready? Hello, cha-cha-cha. Hello, cha-cha-cha. Hello, and how are you? Cha-cha-cha. I'm fine, cha-cha-cha. I'm fine, cha-cha-cha. And I hope that you are too, cha-cha-cha. Okay, friends, I realized I totally skipped calendar yesterday. Whoops. But that's okay. I know you guys are pretty good at this anyway, but that's okay. We'll do it right now. Okay, who can tell me what the name of our month is? It begins with the letter M. It says, What is the name of our month? Good, it's March. Can we say March? Ready? March. Good. We're in the month of March. We're in the month of March. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. We're in the month of March. We're in the month of March. Clap your hands. Clap your hands. Very good. Okay, let's count how many days we have so far in March. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. What number comes after 24? What number comes after 24? Good. It's 20. Ooh, my goodness. It's 25. Can we say 25? Ready? 25. Today is March 25th. And what year is it, guys? What year is it? Because that hasn't changed. Good. It's still 2020. Can we say that together? Ready? 2020. Awesome. And who could tell me what is the name of our new season that we started last week? What's the name of our new season? Good. It's spring. Can we say spring? Ready? Spring. And remember, in spring, we're going to get lots of rain, which is going to help all of our plants to grow. Awesome. So now let's go over all of the stuff we've been learning. Okay, let's go over our new letter of the week. Ooh, that came out very messy. Sorry. Whoopsie. You know how wobbly this board is. Okay, who could tell me what letter this is? What letter is this, friends? Good, it's the letter K. Can we say K? Ready? K. And what sound does the letter K make? It says what? It says ka, ka. Can we say that together? Ready? Ka, ka. Like ka, ka, kite. Can we say ka, ka, kite? Good. One more time. K, K. Says ka, ka. Like ka, ka, kite. Ka, ka, kite. Very good, guys. Awesome. Okay, so now let's go over our word family. Okay, so our word family this month is the an. I don't know why I said this month, this week. It's the an word family. Okay, so an says an. Can we say an? Ready? An. Now we're going to add some letters in front of it. Let's use this color so it's easier to see. Okay, what sound does the letter C make? C says ka, ka. Now we're going to add an to that. So I have ka, an, ka, an, ka, an. What word do we hear, friends? It's can. Can we say can? Ready? Can. Now I'm going to add a P in front of it. Oops. What sound does the letter P make? P says pa, pa, right? That was last week's letter. Could we say pa, pa? Ready? Pa, pa. And I'm going to add an to that. So we have and. What word do we hear? It's pan. Can we say pan? Ready? Pan. Now I'm going to add an M in front of it. What sound does the letter M make? M says Can we say So we have and and. What word do we hear? It's man. Remember, like a grown up. Can we say man? Ready? Man. Now I'm going to add an R in front of it. What sound does R make? It says So we have and. What word do we hear? It's ran. Can we say ran? Ready? Ran. Good. Now I'm going to add an F in front of it. What sound does F make? F says f. Can we say f? Now I'm going to add and to that. So we have f and. What word is that? It's fan, like we turn on when it's hot. Can we say fan? Ready? Fan. We're going to do our other one we learned yesterday, and then I'll teach you our last one. What sound does the letter V make? It says the, right? Can we say the? Now we're going to add and to that. We have the. What word do we hear? It's van. Can we say van? Ready? Van. Van is like a type of car. And the last one we're going to add is the letter T, and then we'll have done them all. What sound does the letter T make? T says ta. Can we say ta? So we have ta and. This is the word tan. Can we say tan? Ready? Tan. Tan is like the color tan, or when you go outside in the sun, you get tan. You get a suntan. So ready? You guys can repeat it after me, and remember all of our words rhyme because they have the same ending sound. So you guys can repeat after me. We have can, pan, man, ran, fan, van, tan. Very good. I know this word family is really, really long, but there just happens to be a lot of them. So good job. And then we're going to go over our numbers of the month. Oh, wait, I skipped our sight word. Just kidding. I'm going to do our sight word first and then our numbers. Our sight word for this week is G. Oh, who could tell me what G-O spells? G-O spells go. Okay, I'm going to go to the supermarket for milk. Could we say go? Ready? Go. Can you guys come up with a sentence for go? It's a good sentence. Can we say go? Ready? Go. Now we're going to do the name of our numbers. So now we're going to go over our numbers. Who could tell me what number a 1 and a 3 is? What number is a 1 and a 3? This is the number 13. Can we say 13? Now who could tell me what number a 1 and a 4 is? What number is a 1 and a 4? It's the number 14. Could we say 14? Ready? 14. So one more time. 13, 14. Very good, guys. Okay, now let's go over our shape and color of the month. So who could tell me, this shape has 2 names. What's one of its names? And what is the second name? Good, so this shape's name is rhombus. Can we say rhombus? And its second name is diamond. Can we say diamond? Good. And let's count how many sides it has. It has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 4 straight sides. Can we say 4 straight sides? Ready? 4 straight sides. And all the sides are the same. Can we say all the sides are the same? Ready? All the sides are the same. Awesome. So we're going to talk more about water today. Yesterday, and well, the same thing today, we're going to talk about what happens when we put objects in water. Okay, so remember, if I threw something really like big and heavy into the water like a rock, poof, it would splash and go all the way down straight to the bottom, right? If I threw a huge rock in the water, it would go straight to the bottom. When something goes straight to the bottom, we say it sinks. Can we say that together? Sink. Okay, when something goes straight to the bottom, it sinks. But if, say, I were to throw, like, I don't know, a beach ball in it, which has lots of air in it, it would stay right on the top, okay? Beach balls float, okay? So when something stays on top of the water, it floats. When something goes under the water, we say it sinks. So one more time, can we say float, float, sink, sink? So today I'm actually going to do a video experiment where we're going to test different objects to see if they sink or if they float. And if you guys can at home, I'd like to see if you could do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to use just a container of water. You could use any container you have that you can fill with water, or you can use your sink or your bathtub. And you can test different objects to see if they sink or float. Now, here's what's really important, friends. Please do not put anything with batteries or that has electric in the water because you will just break it. So please don't throw like an iPhone in the water because you will totally break it. Okay, so something like a car or a block, something that's safe to test. You guys can test and see if they sink or float in the water. So we're going to read a book about sinking or floating. It says, what floats in a moat? And if you hear float and moat, both rhyme. So we're going to find out what floats in a moat. Remember, float means it stays on top of the water. It says, one goat, one moat. But what will float? I hear some more rhyming words. Does anyone hear anything that rhymes? We have goat, moat, float. They all have the same ending sound, so they all rhyme. Archie the goat stopped short at a moat. So a moat is the water that surrounds a castle. He measured and mapped. He doodled and drew. He sketched and scribbled and scrawled. Aha, he said, to cross the moat, pronounced the goat. We must build a contraption that can float. So if you guys think about it, to get across the water, he's looking to build something that he can float across. Like if we had a boat, boats float, right? It all rhymes, right? Boats float in the water. So he wants to build something like a boat so he can get across. So let's see what he can build. Or, said Skinny the hen, we could just take the drawbridge. A drawbridge is like a bridge that comes down and you can go across the water. And then when people are done, they pull their bridge up so you can't get across anymore. Bah, said Archie. Drawbridge, drawbridge. This is no time for a drawbridge. This is time for science. Right, said the hen, science. The hen and the goat alongside the moat took the stock of their cart of supplies. A barrel might float, mused the goat. We began with a barrel full of buttermilk. So they're going to take a barrel full of milk and see if it sinks or floats. What do you guys think? Do you think the barrel of milk is going to sink or is it going to float? What's your guess? Okay, let's see. The hen and the goat alongside the moat hammered and nailed and clanged and banged. Clang, bang, bang, bang. They wired and tied and built the SS Buttermilk. Archie the goat climbed aboard. Ready for launch, he called. Ready, said Skinny the hen. So let's see if this sinks or floats. Push, said Archie the goat. I'm pushing, said Skinny. Now remember, this barrel's full of milk. It's got to be pretty heavy. It's not going to be easy to push. Shove, said Archie the goat. I am shoving, said Skinny. Heave, said Archie the goat. I am heaving, said Skinny. Heave. Umph. The barrel and the goat splashed into the moat. Glub, 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 glub. And they sank. Archie the goat dripped out of the moat. Uh-oh. So their heavy barrel of buttermilk just sank right to the bottom. Take note, pronounced the goat. A barrel might not float. Apparently not, said the hen. Shall we take the drawbridge then? Bah, said Archie. Drawbridge, flawbridge. This is no time for a drawbridge. This is a time for science. Said the hen, science. Archie the goat gazed at the moat. He pondered and puzzled. He doodled and drew and sketched and scribbled and scrawled. So, I wonder what he's going to make next. Their barrel full of milk did not float. Aha! To cross the moat, pronounced the goat, an empty barrel might float. Empty? Said Skinny. Empty, said Archie. Drink, Skinny, drink. Drink the buttermilk, said Skinny. Indeed, said Archie, for science. Ha, said Skinny. Well, you are the scientist. Ah, said Archie, but you are Skinny. So now they're going to try an empty barrel. They're going to take all the milk out and make it empty. Do you guys think an empty barrel can float? Skinny held her nose. Yes, she doesn't like the taste of buttermilk. And started to slurp. Ugh, she said. She guzzled and gulped. And sipped and slurped and guzzled. And sipped and slurped and gulped. And sipped and slurped and guzzled. To all the way to the barrel of buttermilk. Ugh, said Skinny. Ah, said Archie. What do you think happened to the hen here? Right? She's like, ugh. I think she got a tummy ache from drinking all that milk. The goat and the hen hammered and nailed, bang, bang, and clanged and banged, clank, clunk. They wired and tied and built the SS Empty, clang, clang. So let's see if the SS Empty, which is an empty wooden barrel, floats or sinks. Archie the goat climbed aboard. Ready for launch, he called. So let's see if the SS Empty floats. The barrel with the goat splashed into the moat, and it floated. Okay, so there's a reason it floated, friends. So wood floats, okay? They also use wood to make boats quite often. There's a reason for it, because wood floats. The reason it didn't float before was because it was full of buttermilk, okay? It was full, and there was no way there was any air was going to get into it. So the milk was filling the barrel instead of air, okay? But now that it's empty, there's air in it. Instead, it can float. So it stayed on top instead of sinking to the bottom. But, I see a problem here with the SS Empty. It floated, but is it a good boat? Let's see. The boat tipped and rolled and tossed the goat into the moat. So even though it floated, it doesn't seem like it's staying straight, okay? It's turning back and forth. And it threw the goat in the moat. I wonder why. Why do you think it might have thrown the goat overboard? It floats, but it's not staying straight. It's turning back and forth. Anyone see a problem with their boat that they made? Why do you think it threw the goat in the water? Well, let's see. Archie the goat dripped out of the moat. Take note, pronounced the goat. A barrel does float. And yet, said Skinny the hen, we were made outside the moat. Bah, said Archie. We'll try again, Skinny the hen. Again? Groaned the hen. Why do you think he doesn't want to try again? Well, I think he got a pretty big stomach ache from drinking all that milk last time, and he does not want to drink it again. Make it sick. Indeed, said Archie. The third and final barrel. Drink, Skinny, drink. The hen sighed. Ugh, he does not want to drink all that milk again. The hen sipped and sighed and slurped. He guzzled and gulped and stopped. He could not drink another drop. Tap, tap. Ah, said Archie, it's just right. So now it's empty. So remember, we know an empty barrel floats, but they made it a way that it wasn't balanced, right? It kept turning back and forth. So let's see what they can do to make this balanced and stay straight now. Clang, clang, bang, bang. The hen and the goat alongside the moat hammered and nailed and clanged and banged. They wired and tied and built the SS ballast. Okay, what a ballast is, it's something that helps a boat to balance, okay, and stay straight. So let's see if this actually works. Archie the goat climbed aboard. Ready for launch, he called. Ready, said Skinny the hen. Burp. So he drank all that milk and he started to burp. And look also how round his tummy is. He's so full. Heave, heave. So now that the barrel's empty, it wasn't so hard to push, right? It's not heavy anymore. It's light, okay? Light is the opposite of heavy, okay? So when he shoved, it went flying this time because it was super light. The barrel and the goat splashed right into the moat. And if you guys look, what time of day is it? It's nighttime. They've been working at this all day, so I really hope for them this works. And it started to sink, but it actually floated. So we know our empty barrel floats and our full barrel sinks. It sank and then it floated. Eureka, said Archie the goat, and he paddled across the moat, just in time to meet the queen hurrying from the castle. Archimedes, called the queen, for Pete's sake, next time just take the drawbridge. And where is the rest of my buttermilk? Uh-oh, what happened to her buttermilk? Who could tell me? Yeah, the hen drank all the buttermilk. It's, in the moat, said the goat. And in the hens, moaned the hen. Burp. Ah, said Archie, it's all in the name of science. Science, fussed the queen. Science? What about my buttermilk? Bah, said Archie. Buttermilk, guttermilk. There is no time for deliveries. Today is a time for discoveries. Burp. Indeed, said Skinny the hen. The author's note. What a relief that Archie's barrel finally floated. And thanks to Archimedes, a famous scientist, and Archie's namesake, we know why. Archimedes found an object placed in water will displace or push away some of that water. The water pushed back, and just how hard it pushes back determined by the amount of water that's displaced. So when the barrel was full, the SS Buttermilk, it sank. The barrel pushed away water equal to its own size. But compared to the heavy barrel, the volume of water was not enough to keep the ship afloat. And when the barrel was empty, the SS Buttermilk, it did float, but it was too light to push away nearly any of the water and was a very unstable or unbalanced ship. But when the barrel was half full, it weighed just enough to push away the right amount of water to get the ship to float and bring Archie safely to shore. So now they're drinking all the buttermilk, and does it look like the hen wants any buttermilk? No, right? His tummy's way too full. The end. So later today, I'm going to make a video about objects that sink and objects that float. Again, and you guys can try with a bucket of water at your house, any container you have, or you could try in your sink or your bathtub and see what things sink or float. Okay, what we're going to do next is we're going to measure some objects, okay? So we did measuring the other day. We're going to measure two different controllers. I have a Wii Moat and a Switch Moat here. Okay, we're going to see which one is longer. Actually, you know what? I changed my mind. We're going to see which one is shorter because we did longer the other day. Remember, shorter means smaller in length. Okay, length goes this way. We're going to see which one's shorter or smaller in length. Okay, our Wii remote or our Switch remote. So, I'm going to use our cubes again to measure them. So remember, when we measure, we need to start at the very beginning of the object because we want to get its whole length. Okay, so we're going to start at the very beginning, which is right here, and go straight to the end. So remember, we also don't want to leave any room between the objects we're measuring, okay? Because then we won't be able to tell the whole length. So we're going to count how many cubes along the switch remote is first. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So again, I went from the beginning of the object all the way to the end, and I didn't leave any spaces. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes long. So now let's see how many cubes long the Wii remote is. We have, so again, I'm starting at the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, I went from the end, from one end to the other. Okay, I started at the beginning, I went all the way to the end, and I did not leave any room. So let's count how many cubes long this was again. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so now we're going to figure out which one is shorter or smaller. This one is 8 cubes, this one is 5. This is 8, this is 5. So which one is shorter? Okay, remember we want the one with the smaller number. So which is the smaller number, 8 or 5? It's 5, right? 5 is a smaller number, okay? Because 8 comes after 5, so we know 5 is smaller, okay? Or we could say less, right? 5 is less than 8. Less means smaller, right? So can we say less? Less. So 5 is less. So because this number is smaller, we could say it's shorter. Can we say shorter? Shorter. Because 5 is less than 8. And even if we put these two right next to each other to see it, you can see this one is definitely longer than this one, right? Because this switch remote stops here. And the Wii remote comes all the way out to here. So even without measuring them completely with the cubes, we can just put them next to each other and see the Wii remote is definitely longer than the Switch remote. The Switch remote is shorter than the Wii remote. Good job, guys. And again, you could do that with objects in your house too. It doesn't necessarily have to be with cubes. You can measure with anything as long as it's the same size. Like the other day we measured with pennies, okay? You could measure with anything you have in your house as long as they're the same size. And you start from one end and go to the other. Or you could just put the objects next to each other like I did, as long as you line them up at the end and see which one is longer and which one is shorter. So the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to do an activity called blastoff. So I need all my friends to help me with this one. What I need all my friends to do is to stand up. So can everyone stand up? What we're going to do is we're going to count backwards from 10 and we're going to slowly sit down. We've done this before. But this time, instead of standing back up, after we sit down, we're going to jump up like a rocket ship and scream blast off. Okay? So we're going to pretend to be rockets. So can you guys help me count down from 10 to 1? Ready? And we're going to sit down. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ready? Blast off! Ready? Do that one more time. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! Good job, guys. Okay, so attached to this video, you guys will find a link to a Jessie and Squeaks video, our SciShow Kids video about sinking and floating, so you guys can learn a little bit more about sinking and floating. And again, I'm going to make a video later where I'm going to test some objects that sink or float, but you guys can feel free to do that too in your house with objects that sink or float. I'm also going to attach 2 worksheets that you could do about measurement, about longer and shorter, okay, so you guys will be able to complete those worksheets to show me what you know about measurement. And again, you can either email them to me or just make a folder and you'll bring it back to school when we finally go back. I'm also going to attach another read aloud today that you can watch on YouTube, more about water, so you guys can learn some more about water. So I hope you all enjoy, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye!